Hey guys, welcome back to Amanda's Favorites, where I have new videos for you every Tuesday. Today's video is all about the brand new MäksēLife planner. This planner is launching on Black Friday on 11/29. However, it is available right now, but there are going to be bundles and savings for their Black Friday launch. So you might want to wait till then. One of the bundles that I know of is that there will be this bookmark bundle along with the planner. These bookmarks will be available for purchase separately, but that bundle will be available on their launch day. These bookmarks are to mark your most important places in this planner, and we will get into these more later. They are in a little ombre effect of grays. They are to mark your week, your monthly goals, and your vision page at the front, and they have some little motivations at the bottom. Dream big, just begin, and dare to grow. Those little hearts also have a place in the planner to write down your daily gratitude if you choose so, because we all know how valuable it is to name our blessings and count our blessings and recognize them. So this planner is a weekly planner. I have both the vertical and the horizontal, but it is not just a weekly planner. It is a weekly planner with a full year of an intentional goal planner combined. So you do not need to buy a separate goal planner and a separate weekly planner agenda. This is an all-in-one. It also has plenty of spaces for lists and notes. I will show all those to you. There are 2 cover choices this year. These were done by an artist. Sierra is the creator of this planner. She is known on Instagram as Planner Friend, and so you can look her up there. Of course, she is on MäksēLife Instagram too. She has a background in the planner community for several years. She takes that love of planning with her several years that she has been a life coach as well as a business life coach. And she takes all that experience and she puts it into this goal planner combination. She said she saw something missing in the market, and that was this combination for a full year of goal planning plus your agenda. One of the things that she wanted to make happen in this planner is that you have your goals in front of you constantly. You have those action steps in front of you constantly, or those habits that you're building constantly that tie back to your main goals that you want to make happen in your life. Those things that are important to you, those are right in front of you. Those are not in a separate book. You're checking in weekly with them. You're checking in monthly with them, and they are with you all the time. That was one of her big intentions with making this planner. She has done a stellar job on her first year with this planner. I'm going to go over all those details with you. I'm also going to go over comparing them to PowerSheets. I'm going to go over ways you could use them with PowerSheets if you choose to do that, because many people are wanting to do that. Either they already love PowerSheets, but they really want to try this out too, or they just bought PowerSheets for the first time this year, but now they're seeing this. Let's jump in. This is going to be kind of a longer video because I want to answer all those Instagram questions. I want to show you this planner from front to back. This is the vertical. This is the horizontal. I have actually filled out, so I'm going to show you in the horizontal. I went through this week before I filmed this video and I filled out the goal planning section in the front, but I kind of want to talk about the cover first. I wanted to fill out the goal planning section though, so that I could give firsthand experience. I have used PowerSheets this year as my first year in PowerSheet, and I want to give you firsthand my opinion on this goal planning system compared to PowerSheets. I actually went ahead this week too and filled out my PowerSheets 2020 goal prep. I did almost all of it because after filling this out, I really wanted to see if I came out with the same goals and the same feeling, like how did each one feel? What goals did I come out with after filling out both systems? I felt like that was the only way that I was really going to be able to truthfully speak to it. Now, I don't know what it's like to use this system for a year, of course, like I have PowerSheets. The big difference, you guys, is that PowerSheets is not a weekly agenda. You have to have a separate planner. You're in 2 different places. So your goal planner is one, and your weekly agenda, or your planner, your daily agenda, whatever you use, a daily or weekly, is your other book. In MäksēLife, it is all combined into your one book. I have a full walkthrough of 2020 PowerSheets up on my channel, and that is already linked down below. And that way you can take a look. You can make a choice for yourself. Which system is better for you? Or do you want to combine both systems? There are 2 ways that I have thought to combine both systems, and I will go through that. There's so much I want to tell you. I know I don't want to be scattered all over. I really want us to go through this in some sort of order for you. I want to make sure you see that MäksēLife also comes in this really nice keepsake keepsake box. It is hard. It has the light gray stripes, which are also replicated on the inside pages of their cover. It's just a nice box to be able to store your planner in if you like to store your planner after you use it for the year, or it's a nice box just to be able to store in your closet like cards in, programs, keepsakes. I keep boxes like this for that, and then I label the end of it what it is. The color, if you're going to sit it on a shelf this way or this way, you're only going to see the light gray lines and the white, so it's really nice. It'll blend in with any decor in any room. These covers are hard. They have a little texture to them. You probably can't see that, but they have a little bit of texture to them, but they're smooth. So even with that little bit of texture, they're smooth. It seems like they could be wiped off from any spills. It's a beautiful print, and your MäksēLife is written on the back there, just at the bottom. So it's not right on the front. In the middle of your planner, you just see the artwork. It has a matted brass O-ring. There is no problem with this O-ring at all. I know some people don't love O-ring planners, but this O-ring, every page turns seamlessly. I have not had any problems with working with this planner, and I've worked with a lot of O-ring planners. Some do get stuck a lot, but this one does not. You can easily flip it over, and then you grab it by just one ring to flip it to the other side. That's how I always do my O-ring planners. One thing I love about this cover is that Sierra chose to do rounded corners on the cover instead of pointed corners with the metal protectors on the end. Honestly, you guys, the pointed corners with the metal protectors on the end, I know a lot of you love them. I don't personally love them. As I work in my book, they seem to jab me if I'm sitting on the couch. And also with my cheap IKEA bookshelves in my office where I store planners, for some reason, those metal rivets, whenever I set a planner down, no matter how carefully I set it in my shelves, those metal rivets have dug paint out of my IKEA bookshelves in my office. They're not called rivets. I'm sure corner protectors is what they're called. And I know they protect your corners and all that, but my corners don't get that messed up. That's why I really prefer corners like this. So I love this cover. This book, I thought it would be a lot chunkier than it is because it has so many extra pages in it with your goal planning in between every week and in between every month, but it is really not that heavy or chunky. The weight on this planner is 2 pounds and 4 ounces. The weight on PowerSheets, which is just a goal planner and not a weekly planner, is 2 pounds and 3 ounces. On my Instagram, I shared the weight of this compared to Simplified Planner, Erin, Condren. I listed them all out. It's all saved in a MäksēLife highlight, so you can go check that out in my Instagram bubbles if you're interested in seeing all those weight comparisons. So if you're thinking it's too big of a heavy book, it's only 1 ounce more than PowerSheets, you guys, and it's your planner too, so you're not carrying a separate planner with you. If you are someone who has to carry it on the go, MäksēLife comes with this band hooked into these gold rivets. It seems to be made really well and is not coming out of there, so you don't even have to purchase a separate band for your planner or worry about carrying around a band with you that could get lost. You have this to hook around it and have it go in your bag. And then of course, if you don't use your band, like yours stays at home like mine does, then it can just go right inside the back cover. You have an accordion pocket inside your back cover, which is really big, very sturdy, so you can keep a lot in there if you need to keep envelopes, stamps, whatever you need to keep. Then besides the accordion pocket, it comes with another pocket here. This is just a gray kind of cardstock. It's not too thick, you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's pretty thin cardstock, but it is gray cardstock pocket on the front and the back. So you could fold up a piece of paper and put it in here, or keep some envelopes or cards or movie ticket stubs in here. You have a lot of pocket options in here. You have 13 lined note pages at the back besides all the ones that you're gonna see in between the months and weeks. So you actually have a lot of room for notes in this planner. And then let's start back at the front. You do have a 2020 and 2021 calendar year at a glance at the back. So this year, MäksēLife is only made in calendar year right now, and then next year to look ahead for planning. We're going to start at the beginning though, so the flow of the book makes sense to you, and I'm going to take you through the entire flow of the book, and then we'll look at the vertical. Everything is the same in the vertical except for that it is vertical layout. Every single other thing in the book is the same, and we will go into our pen test and everything else too. Here is your nameplate page. Then you have a letter from Sierra. She talks about why she chose the name MäksēLife. It comes from the noun moxie, which is a force of character, determination, or nerve. And she talks all about why she chose that name and why she has such a passion and developed this planner. Then you get a tab for your goal setting section. The tabs are very nice, laminated, really tough tabs. Your tabbed pages are a little bit thicker than your other pages, but not extremely thick or different, so that's nice. Your paper in this planner is 120 GSM. It is printed with soy inks and on recycled paper. It was really important to her to use a printer that uses eco-friendly printing when able to. I love that. This planner has your typical 7x9 pages. She also wanted to make sure it fit most of the sticker kits that are out there for you guys that love to use sticker kits. So it is made to fit all the sticker kits. Your first page in your goal setting section is getting started. She's just going to talk about how you get started, and she's going to take you through the steps that you're going to do in your prep work in this planner. Now, the prep work in this planner is a lot less than the prep work in PowerSheets. Sierra actually talks about that. She has a YouTube video up with a run through of this planner, and you can hear Sierra herself talking about it on their MäksēLife YouTube channel. I will link that down below. And when she talked about it, she talked a lot about why it was important to her to make a planner with not too much prep work, just enough to get you started and get you going, and then you just need to jump in and start doing. And then throughout the year, there is many opportunities for reflection, for changing your goals, for, weeding out the goals that aren't serving you. She talks all about that in here too. Many people will get too overwhelmed with too much prep work, and then they will just never make it past that because it's too overwhelming for them. And I know I have heard that from a lot of people who haven't done goal planning before, and all the prep work kind of scares them off. So this is a very simple system. You start out with a compass assessment, and you can see from all the type print in here that she really takes you through it step by step. It's simple, but she doesn't want to leave anything to you to try to have to figure out on your own, because that can be a sticking point for people. Even for me, if I just don't know what to do with this life compass, then if it seems too confusing to me, I just pretty much stop here and I'm halted. She makes sure that that's not the case. She's going to take you through it. To get started, there are 3 steps right here on the life compass. The first thing that you're going to do is you go to the next page, and this is how you're going to get your life compass numbers. These are the 8 categories, which are actually the same in most goal planners. So they're not new. They're personal, fun and recreation, work and learning, family relationships, health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, financial, and a physical environment. Then you are going to rate yourself on each one of these little things in here. This assessment did not take me long at all. It might just be my personality. I think that you're just supposed to think of the first number that comes to your mind between 1 and 10. 1 being it does not apply to you at all, and 10 it strongly applies to you. And you just write those numbers down to each one of these little prompts in each one of these categories. Here's one. I take regularly planned vacations and time off. Or I engage in a regular spiritual practice. I practice gratitude regularly. I have healthy relationships with money. You're going to rate yourself in each one of these things really quick. Don't sit there and think about it. Don't agonize over it. That's not what it's supposed to be. And then you add up your total for each assessment category, and then you divide it by 8. So yes, you might need a calculator for this step because there are 8 prompts in each section. And then you get your personal score, you get your fun and recreation score, you get your work and learning score. So you get your score for each section. Then you take that score and you take it back here to your life wheel. You are supposed to shade in your whole life wheel up to that score. I kind of didn't want to color it in with pen that much. I just circled where my score was on the life wheel. I circled it. That was not her directions. I just shaded in that line to make it stand out. You're supposed to shade all the way into where you are on the life wheel, so it's very visual. And maybe I'll do that later with like a Sharpie marker or something, or just take more time with a pen. But I do think that's a good visual. So I do think it's good to shade it in, maybe with a matte pencil. You are supposed to circle the number where you want to be by the end of the year in that category. I didn't circle that number. I underlined it because I had already circled the number that I'm on. So I already didn't follow directions, but that's just kind of like me. I always just take things and just make it work for me. So make it work for you. I underlined the number I wanted to be on. And she shows you an example of shading right here and why you can really visually see with the shading. So I do think her way of doing it is better. So after that, Then you come here, and I've covered some things up just because this year I'm not going to be sharing everything with my goal setting because I just want to be able to dig deeper and be a little bit more private with it. And also some of it has to do with people in my family and I need to keep them private. Then you have your intentions page. You take that after doing the life wheel. These questions are very easy to answer. Things like I will give myself grace for, I will let go of, I will embrace. And then my word for the year. I haven't given it too much thought, but this is the only word that really came to me after doing this goal prep and running through my PowerSheets goal prep. The word that was just blazingly flashing in my mind was love. I think that's going to be my word for 2020. I know it's not anything unique. It's what I personally am working on, loving those around me, not only in my family, but my family number one. Because I think I think all the time, in families, it is the hardest for us to be the nicest to our family and show love to them, even though we love them the most. We're sometimes just the snappiest with them and the most impatient with them. I really want to work on that. Also loving those around me. And all my goals kind of center around love. Even finishing cleaning out the house, that is love because I'm showing love to my family. By doing that, I'm showing love to myself. So everything centered around that for me for 2020. Show love, always choose love, do things out of love, serve with love. That is like my theme for 2020. Then we go to setting goals. And Sierra talks you through this, like, really, why are you setting these goals? And she says, it's not about what we accomplish, and we all know this, but it's who we become in the process while we are working on those goals. That is the magic. That's what we really need to focus on. And this system really keeps your progress and your momentum going throughout the whole year. And I will show you why, because of the monthly and weekly check-in. It's always in your face there prompting you. It doesn't leave you. It's not in a separate book. And it's in with your weekly planning. Sierra talks about how to write your goals and keeping them approachable and keeping them specific and framing them positively. So she gives you some examples, and I think that's really helpful for people. Instead of saying, don't be on my phone before bed, you need to say, specifically, leave my phone in the kitchen at night. Instead of don'ts and something vague like don't be on my phone at night. Okay, well, how are you going to do that and frame it positively? Instead of saying don't, you're saying where you're going to leave it. And instead of saying stop checking email on the weekends, you just say check emails only on weekdays. She takes you through how to specifically write your goals and frame them positively. She talks about carefully considering each one of your goals so that you can commit to them. She talks about reviewing your goals, removing goals. And this is one that I have always done. And I love that she brought it up. She said, goals are meant to inspire, not evoke negativity. If you find yourself feeling like you failed or a goal no longer resonates with you, give yourself permission to reassess and adjust or replace it with one that is motivating. That's not to just be easy on yourself and give up on every goal. If there is a goal that is not right for you in the time in your life right then, and it is just bringing you down because you're feeling like a failure, that's not a good goal to have right now. You need to reassess. Maybe it is still that goal, but maybe you need to reassess how you word it. She talks about making your annual goals and then breaking them down into monthly and weekly goals. And she takes you step by step in that. Here are your annual goals. So from your life wheel and from all her guidance, you are going to name your personal goals, your fun and recreation, your work and learning, your family relationships, your health and wellness, your spiritual and personal growth, your financial and your physical environment. And what I noticed while doing this is you have really long lines and you have a lot of room. As the year goes on, if you need to reassess your main big annual goals for the whole year, you have plenty of room to mark things out, to rewrite new ones, to rework them. And then at the bottom of each section, how will my life improve by reaching these financial goals? Or how will my life improve by reaching these physical environment goals? I have not filled that out yet. I also have not done my vision board in here yet. I haven't done my vision board in my PowerSheets either. I just basically wanted to work through the prep in each one. She gives you a space to make a vision board because they have been proven. They are inspiring, they are motivating. Those images and words and phrases that resonate with you, if you look at them all the time, they can help really bring into focus what you want to happen in your life. Then she has some goal setting quick tips. On every monthly tab, you have a nice motivational quote. And I love that the monthly tab opens to the month. I love this first one. She's got the colors rotating through there. And as you notice, each goal is given a color. Each goal category of our 8 life compass categories is given a color, and that color is carried out throughout the entire planner. Dream big, live with intention, dare to grow, embrace the struggle, be kind to yourself, know your worth, practice gratitude, find your joy, design your life, just begin. Then you open right to January. I've written some things on here so that just so you can see how the calendar boxes look written on. You'll see the edge of your page has her little signature gray stripe and an ombre effect. You have your next month at a glance down here. You have a note section with lines. You have a quote for every month, a motivational quote. You have your previous month in light gray, and then you have your next month in light gray too. Every month is a different color, and then it rotates through those color schemes. So January is a blue. The colors for each month are very light and muted. I will go through and show them to you, and they carry over throughout the weeks. It's clean and crisp. If you want to add any colors of your own through stickers or pins, then you are not restricted because there are really not bright or dark colors in here, or you can just keep it muted and clean and crisp. February is a light teal blue. March is a light green. April is a gray. May is a yellow. June is an orange. July is a red, but you can see it's not like a dark blazing red. August is a purple, and September starts back over with the blue, and then October is the light teal again. It's rotating back through them. November is the green. December is the gray, and then you're into your extra sections. That's the colors in this planner. The same rotation happens in your vertical. Let's look. I even started mapping out how I would do this for January just to get a feel for it. Every month after your monthly layout, which your tab turns to, you have a 2-page spread of monthly goals. I've just stuck another planner under here to bump this page up so we can be on the same level, and maybe it'll come across better when you're viewing it. Your monthly goals, the 2-page spread, your colors carry over. They're always in the same order. You're going to write down this month what action steps or things that you need to take action on this month in the goals in each of your categories. And you'll notice for me, I didn't have specific actions for 2 of my categories. For me, that's okay for 1 month. Then your next page after that is your weekly page. So that's your monthly goal page. You have this 1 page for every month, actually that 2-page spread. Then you have a notes and reflections page. This is your weekly 2-page spread. So every week you have this huge space along with your weekly action items for your goals. All your 8 goal categories are taken onto this 1 page instead of 2 pages for your monthly spread. You can narrow down what smaller actions need to happen that week to make those monthly goals happen that you've outlined. So you would outline those weekly actions here in each category. And if it's something with the physical environment, it might just be you're going to clean your bathroom that week. For me, that's what it would be. These are not huge things. These are weekly action steps. Notes and reflections can be used for anything. They can be used for a weekly list. They can be used for notes throughout the week that you need to take, on a phone call with the doctor or whatnot. They can be used as writing out more, mapping out more for your goals that week. So you just have a page of notes for every single week, along with a page to check in with each of your goal categories for the week. Down here, Sierra has tips every single week for you. And she said she has really strategically placed really important ones near the beginning of the year when people need maybe more direction or certain times of year when people might be fizzling out. So you have these weekly little goal tips down here. I like that because the bottom of the page is hard for me to write on anyway. I don't usually write on the last few lines of the page. She's using it for something that's really helpful for us. After that weekly 2-page goal spread, you go into your weekly layout. This is where it all happens. This is your weekly layout. I feel like your notes and reflections and weekly actions every week, and then your weekly layout, this is just where the magic happens, because this is where the day-to-day grind happens and where all those little things you're doing every day add up over time. Over 365 days, they really add up. It's the same way that you could think, oh wow, I can't get through reading a 300-page book every month. But if you read 10 pages a day, just 10 pages a day of a 300-page book every month, then you have read a 300-page book. It's just little by little step. You're thinking, I can't read 10 pages a day. Well, could you read 3 pages 3 times a day? Could you read 3 pages right when you wake up? Could you read 3 pages on your lunch break? And could you read 3 pages right before you go to bed at night? Boom. Or 3, you'd have to read 4 pages at night. Then you're to 10 pages a day. So look at all your goals that way. It truly is in all those tiny little actions and habits that we are turned into the people that we want to be. We are what we repeatedly do every day. Here are your habits. You have 6 lines for every week to track habits. I love that there's a habit tracker on your week right here. I honestly don't do great with keeping track of the monthly habit tracker on PowerSheets a lot. Weekly habit trackers are just easier for me to keep track of because they're on my week. You have 6 habits to keep track of. You have a notes section. Then, as you'll see, the color of January is carried out here, navy kind of blue. Every other day, you have these light gray lines to shade your days, just so it's easy to tell every other day is shaded. Your holidays are on your weeks right here, marked in really light gray, tiny writing. And then your holidays are also on your monthly calendar, marked at the bottom in light gray. I didn't say this, but your monthly calendar is a typical Sunday start. And then your weekly layout is a typical Monday start. In planners here in the US, that is typical. And your monthly calendar is a little circle right in the middle with the number. I'll show you like on February where I haven't written, and like on holidays, so you can see that a little bit more close up. Then, if you look in between this week, the very next week, you have a new notes and reflections page, and you have a new weekly actions page. Every single week, you have so much room for notes, for journaling, for reflection, for lists, for mapping things out, all your goals. There is no lack of room for writing in this planner. And you see that tiny little cute heart at the bottom of every day? That heart is to remind you to write a gratitude for the day. Of course, you're not forced into writing a gratitude there. You could use it as a normal line or use it for whatever you want. But I love that it is encouragement to write a gratitude at the beginning of your day or at the end of the day, however it works best for you. When I use horizontal spreads like this, I usually write my appointments or big things over here in the box that need to stand out for the day. And then these are just all my to-dos. Of course, you can use your horizontal spread in so many ways. Sierra has used all of the page real estate. There is very little border up here. You have big horizontal spaces to write in. If you use the bottom line, and I counted right, then you have 9 lines if you use the bottom line, 8 lines if you don't count the dividing line, to write on for every single day. Now, one of the ways I thought that you could pair this with PowerSheets, there's actually 2 different ways. One way is just to use it as your weekly planner with PowerSheets. So with PowerSheets, you're going to need a weekly planner anyway. You could pick MäksēLife as your weekly planner with your PowerSheets, and then those goals are just carried over and checked in more. With PowerSheets, you're really only checking in on your tending list. Now, you're supposed to check on that list weekly, but it is a monthly tending list. You would just be checking in. You would just carry over your same goals to here, weekly and monthly. You would just be checking in with them more. They're just in front of you more. And this could be your weekly planner. So that's one way if you want to use both PowerSheets and MäksēLife together. Another way I thought of is MäksēLife Horizontal. This one you could use. So let's say you already have another planner you love, or you don't even use a planner at all, but you want to use PowerSheets with MäksēLife and you don't need a planner. You can use this as kind of a journal, reflections for your goals. So check in daily or however often you want to write. Check in with those goals daily. Journal your feelings, journal your reflections, journal how you're doing on those goals. If it was a bad, hard day, all those emotions that you're feeling, this could be like your goals journaling. Having this big a space in your horizontal really lends itself well to journaling. You have your days of the week shaded in really light gray, like SU for Sunday, S for Saturday. You have your date written out, January 4th, January 5th. I really like the clean look and feel of the MäksēLife planner. And you go into your weekly actions again, and then back to your next week. And every week, that's how it flows. At the end of your month, you have a monthly reflection. So at the end of each month, you have 1 page of a monthly reflection. These questions are similar to some other goal planners. My biggest wins this month, things that are currently working in my life, things that are currently not working in my life, what I learned this month, what improvements or adjustments do I need to make going into next month, what am I most grateful for right now, and habits I want to nurture next month. Then rate your overall satisfaction for this month. That is your monthly reflection every month. At the end of every quarter, you actually have a quarterly compass check-in. You have your monthly reflection, and then at the end of a quarter, so 4 times throughout the year, every 3 months, you're going to have a quarterly compass check-in page. This is just hooked on the back of your next monthly tab. It's where you're going to check in with how you're doing. Where is your current place on your life compass, and where were you previously? So where do you feel like you are now, and where were you? Then some questions to assess where you want to go from here. You need to check in every quarter. You need to reassess your goals. That's one of the things with this this planner is with having you have like a monthly goal list, breaking it down to that, and then breaking it down to your weekly actions. You are constantly reassessing. If something isn't working for you, it's not just like sitting there for a long time, never being changed or progress not being made on it. It's like every week you can tweak, change, decide to do something different, move something around every single week. At the very end of your planner, you end with your quarterly compass, wrapping up. Then you have an extra section, and that is where you have your 2020 year at a glance, your 2021 year at a glance, and then your 13 pages of notes, and then the pockets that we visited earlier. That is a run through of the MäksēLife planner. I do want to show you a look at a comparison with the horizontal to the vertical. Here's the same month, and we have a look at the horizontal and the vertical, both in July. You'll see how the red comes into play. You will see how every other day is not shaded in the vertical. So in the vertical, you just have a little header, and that header is shaded, but then you have very light lines. Sierra took surveys and everybody wanted their vertical to be lined. I agree. I love that. Very light lines, so that if they're wanting to do stickering or decorating on their own, the lines are not taking over. So those are very, very light gray lines. Then at the bottom, you have a shaded area again, and your little gratitude heart right there at the bottom. That bottom can be used for, of course, keeping track of fitness or dinner or anything you want. This top header is great for weather, somebody's birthday. So there's all kinds of things you can do with that. Let's look at how the habit tracking is done here. Your notes section in the vertical is lined on the side, as opposed to in the horizontal, your notes is right down here. Your habits are a little bit different, but you still have room. In the horizontal, you have room for 6 habits. In the vertical, you have room for 5 habits right here, and you write the habit above and then either X out or color in the day of the week. So the habits are done a little bit different in the horizontal versus the vertical. I want to show you the pen test next. Let's get into the pen test and talking about the paper. It is 120 GSM, which converts to 81 pound. That is the exact same pound weight as Erin Condren paper, and actually the exact same pound weight as PowerSheets paper. It is actually a similar feel to PowerSheets paper. It is not a similar feel to Erin Condren paper. Erin Condren paper has tooth to it. That just means a little bit of texture. This paper does not have tooth to it. It is smooth, but not slick at all. But it is the same pound weight as Erin Condren and as PowerSheets paper. It is a nice thick paper. It feels nice to write on. It takes pen well. I tried my fountain pen, my really inky Pilot G207, Papermate flares, Erin Condren dual tips, Mildliner highlighters. I did all my normal pens on here. And if you look at the back of the page, nothing is showing through at all. Nothing's bleeding, of course. And even like very little, you can hardly see any ghosting whatsoever. You guys, 120 GSM paper, 80 pound paper takes almost anything really well. Just remember, it does not have any tooth like the Erin Condren. It is just a smooth, beautiful, thick paper. And remember, this is recycled paper and soy-based inks. So it is something that is better for the environment. It's time to do it. We need to do a MäksēLife PowerSheets comparison, like size-wise. MäksēLife is 7 by 9 pages. PowerSheets is 7 by 10 pages. PowerSheets is 2 pounds, 3 ounces. MäksēLife is 2 pounds, 4 ounces. If you put them on top of each other like this, obviously they're like the exact same width, but the height, PowerSheets has a good almost full 1.5 inches in height here. They are taller if we look at the width of them. Definitely MäksēLife is thicker. You're getting an entire weekly planner in there, but it's not, extremely too thick, and they're only 1 ounce off, you guys. I mean, 1 ounce, you can't even tell. When I was holding them in my hands, I couldn't judge which one was heavier, and that's why I had to weigh them, and I knew you guys would be asking. And once again, PowerSheets, if you want to know more about them, they are just an intentional goal planner. I have a full video review on them, and that link is down below. This is not a weekly agenda at all. This is just your goal planning for a year. Now, I know many people are going to want to know the size compared to Erin Condren. Erin Condren only weighs 1 pound, 8 ounce. It's just much lighter weight because there is not a hardcover. And if you look at the size here, they both have 7 by 9 pages. MäksēLife is just a teeny bit bigger on the edges because of having a hard cover, and MäksēLife tabs don't stick out and Erin Condren tabs do from the cover. And then the thickness, MäksēLife is thicker because it contains all your goal planning. Between every single week, you guys, you have a 2-page spread. And in between every single month, you have a 2-page spread to check in with those goals. And then your quarterly check-ins also, and 13 pages of notes in the back. So that is how it compares to Erin Condren size-wise. This is just the horizontal Erin Condren. Since I have it here, I will just show you it next to the horizontal MäksēLife. Monday through Thursday is still on your left side. That is the same. They have the same basic layout. You have more room for writing in MäksēLife. You have a habit tracker down here in MäksēLife. You still have a note space too. That's just a little bit kind of how it compares. I know so many people are looking to switch to MäksēLife, and so I just really wanted to show you a side-by-side on that. Erin Condren doesn't have a vertical that really compares to this because she has no lined vertical. She has an hourly vertical, and then she has a vertical with 3 boxes and no lines. Since I know many of you would want to see this, here is an Erin Condren vertical. So like I said, she doesn't have any lines, and this is what her vertical looks like. It's a little bit different because your notes in MäksēLife are on your right side. Your notes in Erin Condren are on your left side. So Monday through Wednesday is over here with your notes. But in MäksēLife, it's Monday through Thursday, and then your notes are on your right side with your habits. You know, you have the same little box at the bottom. You actually have more room because there's no spaces in between your boxes there. You have no habit tracker under your notes section. In the Erin Condren, you have a mini calendar taking up room there. Those are just kind of differences to look at. Your holidays are noted right up here up top in the vertical. I don't think I said that. There's how your holidays look in the vertical MäksēLife. And one other planner people have been asking me to compare size-wise is Simplified Daily. Many people use a daily planner in conjunction with a weekly planner. I do myself. So if you're using Simplified, you could definitely still use MäksēLife as your weekly planner and your goal planner. Lined up size-wise, MäksēLife is just a little bit wider, probably a 1/2 inch. They're pretty much the same height. There is a look at the rings and kind of the feel and thickness. Once again, Simplified weighs 1 pound 14 ounces and MäksēLife weighs 2 pounds 4 ounces. And Simplified is a little bit smaller than a 7x9, and that is why you have that extra inch of room there. So hopefully that answers a lot of size questions for you. One of the other questions is really compare the paper to Erin Condren paper. There's 2 to the Erin Condren paper. They're both nice and thick, but they have a completely different feel. They have a little bit different coloring to the paper. I call both of them white, but Erin Condren does seem brighter white. This is recycled paper once again. There's not one that's better than the other because they're the same weight. It's really if you prefer, if you really love to have tooth on your paper, if you like a smoother paper, that's the main difference there. Here's a question I got. How do Mildliners work with gel pens on this paper? So I wrote these gel pens and then I swiped my hand like right after I wrote it. The Pilot G207, I did not swipe for like 5 seconds, like I counted to 5 because it is such a thick inky pen. But the 0.38, I swiped right after I wrote them, Uniball Signo and Pilot G2 0.38. And you can see there is hardly any smearing there at all. I mean, there's a tiny bit of smearing, but that was wiped right after. And so there was hardly any smearing. So if you don't want any smearing to happen, even though that's the slightest bit, then with a gel ink pen, you're going to have to wait a tiny bit. I wanted to highlight over a gel ink pen. These were highlighted over a couple seconds after I wrote them, so not right after, but those are gel ink pens, the G207 and the Uniball Signo 0.38, and the highlighters went over them well. I feel like ballpoint pens are so easy. You can highlight right over them the minute that you write. I did a Sharpie pen. You could highlight right over it right after. All of these pens work well. Even the fountain pen didn't bleed through. That is my extensive pen testing and gel pen testing. I have covered all the questions that I got on Instagram except for one. Someone wants to know, compare this with PowerSheets with INKWELL Press goal planning. Really, I say you need to watch this video, which you are right now, and you need to watch the PowerSheets video, and then you need to watch the INKWELL Press goal planning insert video, which is in my 2020 INKWELL Press review. I extensively go through the whole goal planning insert, and I have that time stamped on that video so you can go right to it. You need to watch that, and then you'll be able to tell which one is best for you. They are all 3 year-long goal planning systems, and they're all good year-long goal planning systems. It's just the one that resonates best with you at this point in your life. It would be very hard to do a comparison video with all 3 of them because they're very different. It's kind of like comparing apples and oranges. You can't pull out 3 pages that are the same. There's not 3 pages of weekly check-ins with your goals to compare. Do you see what I'm saying? They're all so different in their own that there's not just those pages that you can lay out and compare. So you really need to take a look at the full systems like this from front to back and decide which one will be best for you. Then I've had so many questions. Am I going to use PowerSheets this year, or am I going to use MäksēLife this year? I am going to be 100% honest and tell you right now, while I'm making this video in the very beginning of November, I do not know what I'm going to use in 2020. I could totally see myself using it. I love the idea that it's all integrated and that there's weekly check-ins. That's one of my favorite things about it. And I love that there's a place for a weekly list right here. One of the things I've thought of is sometimes I have used a horizontal planner as my daily planner. So I might be throwing this in to try out as my daily planner. Since I have not changed out my weekly planner in 2 years, this horizontal might become my daily planner, or it might become like a journaling check-in, goal check-in type of planner. So I'm not sure how I'm going to use it yet. I am definitely going to try it out in some capacity because I am so excited about the MäksēLife system. I am so impressed with Sierra herself. Every contact I've had with her, she has impressed me, and she has a lot of experience. She has helped a lot of people work through their goals. So firsthand, she has seen all those sticking points, all those problems that people have. What are the things that hang people up? What are the things that keep people from moving forward? And she has tried to incorporate all that into this system in a simple way. I really feel like so much thought and care and intention has been put into MäksēLife, has shaken up the planner world already, and it has not even had its launch. I cannot wait to see where MäksēLife goes and where Sierra takes it. I would love to hear all your thoughts down below in the comments. I really want to know what you're thinking. If you've purchased already, if you're going to purchase, what you're going to use it with. I would love to hear all your thoughts and comments down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy planning, and we'll see you next time.